The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Hotep, this is Brother Khemmet coming at you with another episode of Black Gumbo brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network. You can reach me at Black Gumbo, that's BLAQUE, at blackgumbo@gmail.com. That's blackgumbo@gmail.com. You guys know what time it is. We're going to stir up the pot. And in this pot, we're coming up with part 2 of the 10-part series on financial literacy. And we're dealing with the art and strategies of human mating. When we're talking about human mating, we're talking about creating little humans. This was a subject that I was never taught as a child, growing up, or as an adult. And I'm pretty sure this was not a subject that you were taught, either whether it be in your home, your school, or church. We have to change this paradigm. The paradigm that we have to change is we have to stop having kids by happenstance. We have to make a real sound and solid plan and strategy when it comes to mating and having little humans. We have to use the right strategies for the time in order to bring these small humans into existence. And it's our job is to make them well-rounded, healthy mentally, healthy emotionally, healthy physically, and healthy spiritually. And when I'm speaking of spiritually, I am not talking about religion whatsoever. As parents, we also have to make sure that for ourselves, that we must be on a good mental ground. We have to be on good, solid emotional ground, physically and spiritually ourselves, before we embark on this mating journey of bringing these small humans into existence. As parents, it's also our jobs to create and maintain the best of conditions for ourselves and for our small humans. We also have to think about this in terms of creating an army of soldiers. No one in the history of the world has ever set out to create a weak army. So it's our jobs as parents to provide all the things that are needed to build the strongest army of soldiers of little humans. There's a science to this thing that we call human mating, aka having kids, children, or little small humans. The environment, the time, and circumstances will always dictate the best mating strategies that humans should apply when mating. When living in a developed country like America, we should all consider these rules and strategies. Number 1, science tells us that the human brain is not fully developed until the age of 23-25 for females and 25-26 for males. So the first rule that it tells us is that we should at least wait until we are of those ages to where our brains are fully developed. And the reason for that is that we can make better choices in deciding a mate and better choices in how we're going to raise that child. We need to lay out a real plan in advance before we bring a small human onto this earth. And if we can make plans to go on vacations and trips, we make plans to get married. And some of us can get real detailed in our plans. So why don't we make plans to bring a small human into existence? Have you ever thought about that? We have to stop, like I said, by having kids by happenstance. We have to stop planning. This would make for a stronger child. We have to one of the first things we have to do is create the right environment. And what I mean by the right environment is that the mother should be under the least amount of stress humanly possible before she conceives and while she carries and breastfeeds. The mother should be able to stay home for no less than a year. That should be the least amount of time that she should stay home. And if both parents are able to be home, that would be even better. Just remember, the first 7 years of a child's life are the most crucial, especially when it comes to human behavior and programming. We need to plan on how the small human will be raised and how it will be educated. We have to have a plan. If we're planning on having more than one, we need to spread out those little humans from 3 to 5 years apart or longer. This is so that the first one is mostly independent before the second one comes. And one of the main resources that we need in place is money. You guys, right? You know that was coming. We need money. We need to make sure that if we're a single mother having one child, that she needs a living income. We're not talking about minimum wage. We're talking about living wage of at least $50,000 to take care of one child. And when we're saying this, we're talking about comfortably. We're not talking about struggling. We're talking about having the insurances, being able to put the child into the proper schools, being able to live in an environment that you want to live in. This is what we're talking about, okay? And if it's two parents and one child, then you need an income of at least $75,000 to $80,000, and that's so you can raise your child comfortably, okay? There's a website called Economic Policy Institute. You can go to that website, you can click on resources and hit family budget. And what this website will do, you can put in any area of the country that you live. You can put in the city, the county, and it'll tell you exactly what's needed, how much money is needed for you to take care of that child comfortably. So if you live in New York City, you can put Queens, New York. It'll tell you how much money that it'll take if you put in one parent, 2 children. You can put in 2 parents, 3 children, 4 children. You can do whatever combination, and it'll tell you based on the cost of living in that particular area. It'll tell you what is needed for you to successfully and comfortably to take care of that child. Here's some of the things you should consider when having a child. You need to save at least $5,000 to $10,000 in savings. You need to have that much for that one particular child. Based on statistics that we have today, it'll run you about $12,000 a year. So it'll run you about $1,000 a month to have a baby in 2019. It'll run you about $12,000, and that could be, just to take care of that child for that 1 year. And to have a baby, the cost of having a baby can run you anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. And let's pray that you have no complications during this time period. We just talking about just a regular pregnancy with no complications, run you between 10, could be up to 30 if there's some type of complications. So the art of mating is something we really need to look at, because when we're talking about financial literacy, we always have to think about kids are always in the picture. And if kids are always in the picture, they play a part in how we function financially. So this is why I say we have to stop having kids by happenstance, and we have to start planning, because if you plan to have your kids, you can set up the things that are needed, and you will have a well-rounded child. You will be more well-rounded. You will be more equipped to handle that child, especially if you have that child at a later time than earlier. Then you will have a chance to get yourself together before you bring another human into existence. This is just food for thought. Hotel, and good night.
Are you starving for comics? Do you covet the classics or the newest copies of our favorite comics? Ooh, that All-Star Superman, Watchmen, and Remember the Sandman? Heroes and Dragons can remedy that. They've been around for more than 30 years with the homegrown family atmosphere. Who's doing it like that? Marvel, DC, collectibles, toys, it doesn't matter. They have what you want. Go see them. Ask for York. Heroes and Dragons, located at 1807 Bush River Road, Columbia, South Carolina. Tell them Defy Life sent you.